What up? It's What Incredible Minute. Yes, I'm back at it again. And this is New Amsterdam Season 2, Episode 9. And this is my discussion slash review, man. This episode was good. I really, really enjoyed it. And honestly, I had to watch it twice to make sure I didn't miss anything because there was a lot of stuff going down. There was 100 things going on at once that they tried to have you to focus on. But I'm not complaining because it was such a great episode. I really, really enjoyed it. We have Max questioning and wondering if his cancer has returned. We have Dr. Reynolds and his girlfriend dealing with some whole maybe not will they kind of won't they type thing because we don't know what's going on with her until later in the episode, but she's kind of standoffish against Dr. Reynolds at this moment, so he decided to give her a little space to just deal with that. Then we have Dr. Bloom recovering from her leg surgery. We have VJ dealing with a patient that's incoming from Rikers, which leads into a whole nother thing. We have Sharp being in her whole little conundrum, if you will, about her helping the one patient at the little medical drug center place. Well, it wasn't a medical. Well, anyway, the little drug den place, but like it was up to standards. They had clean needles and everything. So we're dealing with the aftermath of her doing that on the side. Now, all of that is taking place, and then also because of VJ's patient, this leads everyone talking to Max, and then we end up going to Rikers. Now, there's so much going on, man, and if you blinked or walked away from the screen or something, in any moment, you would have missed something vital and important. Now, I'm going to talk about all of the Rikers stuff first, and then we'll dive into everything else. So, long story short, after VJ's patient comes in, and she's infected with something. I can't remember what. Anyway, she caught an infection from using a tampon for 9 days. Now, I'm not a woman, so, but the way that they broke it down and explained it, dude, that is messed up, man. Oh, boy, that's so sad. And then she caught embolism from the infection from her using it 9 days. And what I'm going to say is I've never been to prison. I've never done any kind of major crime or anything, and I don't want to go. Let's just be real. But if you have we don't have to treat all of these people like animals, man. Some of these people are in here for smaller crimes or something that they done at the time where or wrong place or wrong time. It's just a lot of circumstances for certain people, and some people are even apologetic for what they've done. Everybody in prison isn't a bad apple. And yes, a few bad apples spoils the bunch, like what we learned in the latter half of this episode, but you have some patients like the chick in the cell with the red hair and some of the other patients that were there that actually needed medical care. They just wanted help and good medical care. And the chick that's at New Amsterdam, she just wanted good medical care because they don't get treated right or seen right at Rikers. And yeah, this was a good idea on paper, and I'm stating that for Max. It was a great idea on paper, and it even started to work. But at the same time, like I said, you had some bad apples in the bunch, and we know who they were, the chick that was claiming to help Max. We have some bad apples in the bunch, and they spoiled it for everybody because they end up attacking people and getting attacked so they can set all of this elaborate plan in motion and stuff. But that's what I'm saying. Some of these people actually needed help because, like the one that Sharp and Max diagnosed, she has a tumor. And they just would have wrote her off as a crazy person, and she would have died never knowing that no one would have never knew that she had a tumor. And that's what I'm saying is because, yeah, they're in prison, and some of these people have done horrible things. But let's help the ones that actually won't help. If they don't want help, you can't help anybody that doesn't want help. I'm just saying. But that's just me. That's just my whole thing with that. So let's keep going. So we're in the prison and they're doing all of this other stuff and they're checking on all of the patients, and the warden really wasn't having it because they moved it to the cafeteria. And like he said, what happened, like it was such a big open area that something could happen and something did happen. But the same thing, I agree with Max because we needed to treat these women, and no one wants to go to a doctor or talk to a doctor if they don't have any kind of privacy because you may not want people to know what you were going on. If you're sleeping around on your wife or your husband and you end up catching something, you don't want the whole world to know That's why they have the privacy when you go back behind the curtain or back in the back room when you go to see a doctor or in the hospital or something. The privacy is there for a reason. Um, so then we're at the hospital, man, and VJ is taking care of his patient, which the lady, and we find out that she was so concerned about her kids and she didn't want anyone at Rikers to know that she had kids because they'll try to use that against you. And I feel like, yeah, some people in prison need to be treated like crap, but some of the people that's actually trying and they're sympathetic and apologetic for what they've done, can we help them at least? So then we also have Iggy. He's at Rikers as well, along with Max and everyone else, and he starts to talk to this one inmate in particular that her and the CO had like some real tension building. So then we get to see and find out that they were friends in school and they kind of fell out because the CO felt like the other chick got a boyfriend and wasn't studying her anymore. And I mean, when you sometimes, yeah, you should just shut down your friends, but sometimes when you have a personal life, sometimes things kind of really take heed. And yeah, maybe that's not the best thing for your friendship, but you kind of got to just work out both ways. It's kind of like, let me work on this a little bit and then we can go back to partying and having a great time with each other. But we end up seeing that the reason she felt like that and everything was because she was being abused and she didn't know how to react or how to treat or how to just really cope with anything else. And the CO didn't understand that, and they kind of got to talking and they kind of resolved the issues, and she told her that she had kids. And we know that they can't be friends in prison, but once she gets out, they can pick up their friendship and reunite again. So that was nice. Now, after that, then we have the whole situation with the little lady that's in the solitary and she's crazy. Turns out she's not crazy, but dude, she pushed sharp like it was great. Y'all laughing at me? I'm the only one that get to laugh at me. I'm laughing at you. So it was nice to see, it was nice to see them actually help her and her not be crazy. She had a tumor that was pressing against her optic nerve in her brain. No, just her optic nerve, I think. And it was messing with everything, and it made her lose her hair, gain weight, get a little angry, lose peripheral vision, and made it seem like she was a little crazy. So it was nice for Max and everyone and Sharp to diagnose that so we can get this lady some help. Then we have the one chick that was claiming she was helping Max in the whole thing while they set up in the cafeteria. And turns out that this is when it gets interesting because then we see that all of these people end up getting attacked. She's stabbed and she's so hurt. Then we find out they get transported to the hospital because they needed to help her and like 4 other women. And then we also come in contact with this one nurse that she's walking in. Can you buzz me in? I seem to lost my badge. You came to work with your badge. There's no way that you lost it. Like you've been working at this hospital for probably I don't know how many years. There's no way you lost your badge. Someone took it. So she buzzed her in, and then we see another inmate that was they said OD'd, and she said, "No, you got to get me out of here because I turned state's evidence, and there's someone here trying to kill me." Now, at that moment, I was like, well, okay, now I know why that chick that was pretending to help Max set this whole elaborate plan in motion and acting like she was helping him and got stabbed and everything else was so she and her friends could kill this chick that turned state's evidence. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Dude, this is crazy. This is a hospital show. This is not supposed to be happening on a hospital show. And I'm super excited for January 14th. I'm just being real. Now let's go back and talk about some other stuff that happened this episode. We have VJ talking to Ella, and Ella says she's been diagnosed with OCD 12 years ago, and she can't take her medicine, and she feels like it's gonna get like very, very bad. So to deal with that stress and everything, and to put the baby first, she's gonna move to Idaho to live with her parents. She doesn't want to stay in New York anymore, and she isn't going to be around to let VJ be involved in the baby's life. Now, I'm pretty sure that she won't just like block him out. Like he can come to Idaho, or after she has the baby, she'll come back or something. But like until then, she's not going to be there. And you can tell it kind of hit VJ a certain way, and he's a little upset. But at the same time, Ella has to think about her health and the baby's health. So good job for Ella, man. Now, let's talk about Dr. Reynolds. We get to Dr. Reynolds, and we find out that his girlfriend has been offered a job in San Francisco as head legal counsel in San Francisco. And she said, and he asked her, did she accept? And she was like, no. But I told him I'd think about it. How are you? Don't get me wrong. If someone's career is important to them, and do you honestly, but like if you're in a relationship, don't just make these decisions on your own. Like you guys should talk about this stuff. And she didn't talk about it with him. She just decided to. Well, I told him I'll think about it. And the only thing about that is, I have no qualms with them and overall and her making that decision. But I'm gonna be 100%. And now that things with Bloom and the other physical training doctor is kind of on the rocks, I kind of want Reynolds and Bloom back together again. I mean, that's how we started the show in season 1 with them sleeping together on again and off again. And I kind of want them to be in a full-blown relationship because they fixed their friendship. So they're friends again and they connect in like a different way and like they don't see each other that way anymore. But I would love it if they got back together. It would just be perfect for me. I'm just saying, that's just my opinion. Then we also have Sharp dealing with her whole thing. Yeah. So, long story short, Max came in there trying to help her when she was talking to the board member, the head board member lady, and Max was on her side 100%. And then she was like, "Well, you didn't have to defend me." He was like, always, I always got your back." And it was love, and I love seeing that, man, because we've been waiting for Sharp and Max to get together forever, and it's taking too long. It's taking too long, but this seems like it may be the. Sorry about that. This seems like it may be the one thing to push them together, and I'm hoping it does. Now, at the end of the episode, we also found out that she went back to talk to the head council lady, chairman lady. Anyway, finds out Sharp is no longer co-CEO of, co-chair of oncology, and she's no longer deputy director medical inspector. Deputy medical director. She's no longer that. She lost all of her titles. So now she's just a doctor. Now, the only thing about that is I'm not upset. I'm actually kind of glad that that's all they took away from her. I know it meant a lot to her because, Max gave her that position and she was doing great work. But I'm just happy she didn't lose her medical license or get fired. I'm happy she's still here, and maybe probably later on down the road she can work towards getting that back. But as of right now, I'm okay with her losing that. It's just not losing her medical license or getting fired. I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Then we have her and Max having a whole little scene. Was like she was well, you tell me, you unburden your problems on me, and I'll unburden my problems on you. And then we jumped. Before that, we also have Max talking to Dr. Castro and telling him that he's in remission. Max is in remission, which is absolutely fantastic. Then we see him have this whole elaborate, hurtful moment. Well, not so much as hurtful, but peaceful moment. Yeah, I was looking at the wrong words. Peaceful moment with Georgia, where he was finally able to let Georgia go, and he's going to start focusing on living his life with Luna and hopefully Sharp down the road. Just saying. But yeah, it was nice to have all of that done. What else did I cover? No, I didn't. Bloom. Okay. Then we dive and we have. This episode was heavy for Bloom, man. For me, it was like there was so many times where it was flip-floppy for me with the whole Bloom situation. So we have Bloom recovering, and then we have the physical training doctor coming and taking her off the morphine and telling her that she has one pill. Well, she has 4 pills that she can take within the span of 24 hours. And he told her he recommends that she takes this pill an hour later. So in that whole time, so Bloom is just watching her phone, watching the clock. And I know time works the same regardless, but to me, it feels like if you ever just watch your phone or watch your clock or something like that, it feels like time just slows down. Like if you're not watching it, it seems like time's just, oh, okay, sure. But like if you watch it, it feels like it's just going super slow. But she was watching it, and then all of a sudden it hit that hour later, and she was looking for the pill and she couldn't find it. Now, to me, I had thought that she had taken it and maybe she forgot. But then she called in the nurse, and the nurse was like, well, we can't really check your bloodstream because you have all of the morphine in it, and we wouldn't be able to tell if you took the pill or not. And she was like, I didn't take the pill. And she was losing her stuff because I understand because of the pain. Now, this is where it hit different for me. Now, at this time, I felt like the doctor took the pill only to take it away from her to let her focus on everything else so she wouldn't think about the pill because she didn't really need it. But that wasn't the case. I'm starting to think that he took it because when Bloom started yelling at the nurse The nurse called him, and he started talking to her, and she started talking about the rumors about Bloom being addicted to the pills and everything. And Bloom heard everything, and he was like, he was all of a sudden he was just on Bloom's side, and he was like, no, 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 Dr. Bloom's such a wonderful doctor. There's no way she would lie about taking a pill. You go get her another one. And so it's so weird. And I didn't think about it at first, but when Bloom said something, it made me think about it. She was like, well, thank you for having my back. And he was like, of course, of course, of course. And then she was like, yeah, but why did you have my back? There was no possible way for you to know that I didn't take this pill unless you took it. And then I remembered that, yes, he was a recovering addict. So there was 100 things going on in this episode. And dude, I'm so fascinated by this episode, man. New Amsterdam was phenomenal. Now I'm just waiting on episode 10 on January 14th to find out what's going to go on with these crazy chicks from Rikers, because stuff is popping off. And then in the preview saw that Max started bleeding. Maybe he got shot or stabbed or something. There's so much going on that I don't know. But I will say this. I'm happy that Sharp didn't get fired. I'm happy that Max is in remission. I'm happy that Bloom realized that she can't trust this dude. And I'm kind of happy that Reynolds and his girlfriend are kind of on the verge. I know that's sad, but I'm kind of okay with it because I want him and Bloom to come back together. That's just my opinion. This is your boy Incredible, man. Don't forget to smash that like button so you can smash any more. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them. And subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. Peace out.